So one of the questions I get sometimes about if is why is it that the second input to if we always see in brackets, but the first input to if is not in brackets generally, or ever actually. Yeah, it's never really in brackets. So let's take a look at this particular if instruction. It says if greater x core 100, page 2 stop all. So this might be something you would use, for example, in your backpack. Let's see. So right now this guy's x core is minus 54. So x core is going to report minus 54. This is going to turn out to be false, and it's not going to do anything. But if we set this guy's heading to 90, and we stick something in the rules, let's make something like handle click, and go in his procedures and say to handle click, let's go do our forward 5 wait 1, which we usually do when we animate something, but then we'll do our test. We'll say if greater x core than what? Than 100. Then we'll do page 2 and stop all. And what I did was on my my page 2, I just did like a little game over doodah. So now what'll happen? Well, now right now, like I said, his x core is what? It's like minus 54. But now, since he's facing, we did a right 90, so he's facing east. Every time he goes forward 5, his x core is going to get bigger. So eventually, his x core is going to get bigger than 100, and that's when we should go to page 2 and stop all. So let's just try it out for a second. Yoink. Okay, looks like it works. Okay, so you know, you've probably done one of these before, but like I said, I just want to break it down and make sure that it's clear exactly what's happening and why we have the brackets where we have them and everything. All right. So the first thing we've read the if already, and then we're looking for the first input to if. So the next thing we see on the line after the word if is the word greater question mark, right? So we know about greater. Greater is a reporter. It needs 2 inputs. It likes numbers for inputs. It reports true if the first input is greater than the second input. Okay, so we've already built our if block. Our if is going to be a command with 2 inputs, and so to find our first input, we're going to look for greater to give us some kind of output. So basically, we say, okay, if needs 2 inputs. Let me see, can greater give me an input? And greater says, absolutely, I'm a reporter. I'll be happy to give you something, some information, as soon as I get the inputs that I need. So the next step is to find the inputs for greater. So the next thing on the line here, the next item we have on our instruction, our line of instruction is x core. So x core is a reporter. It doesn't need any inputs. That's good news. It reports the x coordinate of the current turtle. Okay. So now we have x core up here, and since it doesn't need any inputs, it's all ready to give us the first input to greater. So let's see how that works. So here it is. It's 105. Okay. X core doesn't need any input, so it's ready to output a value. The x coordinate of the current turtle is 105. Okay. So if we look at this guy, he's at 105. So this is the point. Basically, what's happened is he's been walking across the screen, and now he's gotten to x core of 105. So now let's see what's going on with greater. Is greater happy? Well, greater's got its first input. It's got 105, but it still needs one more input. before it can do anything. So we're going to have to keep marching along the line past X core to get the next input for greater. Okay, so now what's happened? Well, now we've got this 100. 100 isn't a procedure name, so it doesn't have to be evaluated. So that's cool. Whenever something is just a regular number or a quoted word or something in brackets, we can just immediately use it as input. So that's good. We don't have to, figure out, look it up. It's not, because it's not a procedure name. Okay. So we can immediately pass in the 100, and look at now, greater has all the inputs it needs. So, and since 105 is bigger than 100, greater can report true. So now how's if doing in the meantime? Well, if now has true as its first input, but it still needs another input. So now we have to keep marching along the line to find the input for if. And the next thing in the line is this page stop all. Okay? Oh, this is a typo here. I got to fix that. So the next thing here is page stop all. And so now if's got its first input, page stop all is its second input, and it's all happy. Okay? So now we can, so this is basically what it looks like when all the information has been generated that needs to be generated, so that everybody has their inputs and everybody's happy. Now notice we talked about this before in a previous video, that if we had tried to pass in click off directly, we would have run into trouble because click off is not a reporter. So we have to put brackets here, because something in brackets can just be passed immediately in, or something quoted can be passed immediately in. Okay. What page are we on? So let's see. Yeah. Okay. So that's basically how it works. So that's how we can do. Bum, 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 game over. Okay.